Right, so here we go. Keep, bench, sell, Arsenal squad. If you watch me on a regular basis, you know I'm quite ruthless, so I expect quite a few to maybe be on their way out, but let's see how it goes. Who we got to start with? Production, thank you very much. Started me off in a controversial manner. The captain, Martin Odegaard, 2 years in a row, player of the season, but this season, I've called him pillow foot a lot of this season for his lack of shooting power. And they had the baby this year, I don't know, did it affect him as well? I don't know, but I think we've got to keep him. We've got to back him for another season. You know, sometimes you've got to show some loyalty to players. And I think with him, hopefully this season, he can figure it out. We get a better striker. I think we get a better Martin Odegaard as well. But work on that shot power, man, because I don't know what's been happening this season. But yeah, we'll keep him for one more season. Hopefully he has a better season. Let's go to the next one. This one's nice and easy. David Raya, 2 golden gloves in a row. A lot of controversy when he joined. I wasn't so sure about him either. 6 foot, quite small for a goalkeeper. But we don't talk about Aaron Ramsdale anymore. I think Raya has shown one of the best goalkeepers in the league, so no problem with that. Nice and easy. Reece Nelson. Reece. Great goal at Bournemouth. This was the guy. This was the star boy before the star boy. You know, everyone said this guy was going to be the young superstar, the elite winger. But yeah, it hasn't happened for him. He's had a few loans, and I reckon it's time to get rid of Reece. With a heavy heart, he's one of our own, but we can't hang around if we want to win the title. Who we got next? Leandro Trossard. Again, when we first signed him, big goals, big moments, seemed like a bargain for 27 million. He's been at the club for a few years now. He's done well. Winds me up a little bit on the watch-alongs. You know, I've got a few nicknames for him, Stella R. Trossard and 1 or 2 other things. For me, with us looking to buy a left winger, I think one of the 2 left wingers has got to go. Do you get rid of him? Do you get rid of Martinelli? I'm going to get rid of Trossard. 30 years of age, 1 year left on his contract. I think Martinelli, because of the age and the potential, we keep him. Let me know in the comments what you think about that one. Alexander Zinchenko. For me, by the way, I think this guy could go somewhere and be a very good midfielder. Plays midfield for his country, very good on the ball. When he first came to Arsenal, I think he elevated us in that left-back role, linked up with Xhaka or Martinelli, but I think most of us feel the same about Zinchenko. It's time to move him on. He's not the answer at left-back, and I think we need to cash in on Zinchenko, so I'd sell him as well. Fabio Vieira. I mean, this card probably weighs about as much as Fabio Vieira, and that's the problem. Why? I think you all know what category he's going to go into. Look, he was highly rated when we bought him. People said, you know, he's be a good player to challenge Martin Odegaard. When you look at Vitinha came from the same club, and we got Fabio Vieira. You know, we didn't quite get the right player. Talented, but not for Arsenal, I'm afraid. So I would move Fabio Vieira on. Whatever you could get a decent amount for him. Miles Skelly, MLS, bad boy. This guy has actually solved our left-back situation. We sign left-backs every other summer. This guy, I love his attitude, I love his personality. Breakthrough season, scored for England. I think he's been one of our players of the season, to be honest. We saw him in pre-season, and he shocked me how well he's done. I didn't expect him to be playing at left-back, and listen, brilliant player. Long-term left-back, I think. Could even end up in midfield, who knows? Who we got next? Deckers. £100 million. You know, never thought I'd see a defensive midfielder cost that much, but he's just unbelievable. For me, and some people might think controversial, I would give him the armband. I know people don't like changing captains. They think it's going to affect Odegaard in a negative manner, but I think this guy is the leader of this group now. That Real Madrid double kind of elevated him, I think, to a whole nother level. I think he's going from strength to strength. Hopefully he's at the club for a long, long time. No one on the bench yet. Oh, well, Raheem. You know what? Vibes Cartel got released last summer. The new Jamaica training kit was out. It made sense at the time. Unfortunately, he's kind of played like Vibes Cartel was playing for us, so we're not actually selling him. We're just, Chelsea, you deal with him now. It's a shame. If we'd have signed him 5 years ago, maybe it would have been great, but too late, unfortunately. I'm not too familiar with this guy. I don't know who he is. I haven't seen this guy for about how long? 6 minutes of football this season. There's music tracks that you listen to that are longer than that. Listen, when we signed this guy, I thought this guy is a bargain. Can play right back, left back, centre back. Young, tall, strong. But the injury-prone Tomiyasu is somebody that we can't carry. The problem is, how do you sell him? It's like trying to sell a car with a dodgy engine, you know? For me, if we can, I would sell him, but who's going to want to buy him with that injury record? So we put him in sell. Mikel Merino. It's been an interesting season with him. We waited weeks and months to sign him. He signs, mashes up his shoulder. Midfield didn't look great, but then went up front and really, I think, gained a lot of respect from the fan base. I actually felt quite comfortable with him up front rather than some of the other players that played up front. So for me, he would be on the bench next season. Hopefully we buy a striker. I think in midfield we'll be covered there, but definitely a strong part of the squad, so he can go on the bench. But a very good season up front. Oh, this guy. For me, very close to possibly being player of the season. I would say the best right back in the Premier League this season. On the back of an ACL injury, what a player. Robust, strong, aggressive, and quality on the ball. What a signing, what a player. Definitely a keep. Gabriel Magalhaes. I think if he hadn't got injured in March, this would be my player of the season. The fact that people were debating, is he better than Saliba? Off the back of his last 2 seasons, I think tells you everything. He's got better and better at Arsenal, and his contract hopefully will be signed soon. This is a legend of the club in the future, hopefully. Bukayo. All we need with this guy is sign the new contract, because we feel a little bit 2 years left on the deal, sign the thing, and we're good. And don't worry about them interviews at F1, you don't need to speak to them anyway. Nuno Tavares. Yeah, I mean, he's on loan. I think it's an obligation to buy anyway. So, yeah, it didn't really happen for him at Arsenal. Quick, good athlete, but not good enough. But he'll be at Lazio, obligation to buy, so good luck to him in the future. Riccardo Calafiori. We were there actually on tour when he got signed. There's a lot of excitement. He spent most of his season in the physio room. The other half modelling new merch, to be honest. Couple of big goals when he first signed. I think he'll be on the bench, cover for Gabriel and maybe for Miles Skelly. Let's hope he can have a less injury hit season than last season. Ethan Nwaneri. We need to be very careful with this guy, because this is a star of the future for me and hasn't played enough football towards the end of the season, but still a big season for him. Scored some great goals. The future's bright for him. I just hope the future's bright for him at Arsenal and not elsewhere. Mikel, look after this boy. But I'll put him on the bench, but with a lot of game time as well. Gabriel Martinelli. Oh, it's a tough one. 2 years ago, we're comparing him and Saka. Now you're questioning whether you keep him at the club or not. 15 goals 2 years ago, gets in the Brazil squad, ripping up fullbacks. Klopp's bigging him up, we're thinking this is a superstar. Now, I mean, runs with his head down most of the time, you know, needs to lift his head up, score more goals. Because I'm selling Trossard, I would keep Martinelli. I would give him one more year. He's only 23. I still think there's an opportunity to find a player there. But I would put him on the bench because I do think we need to buy a new left winger, but still got a big role to play. I'd give him one more chance. Kai Havertz. It's been a roller coaster of emotion since the day we signed this guy for obvious reasons. In midfield, it didn't work. He went up front, started to rescue his career at Arsenal. Then he missed some big chances in big games. The Newcastle header, the Man United miss in the cup. Then he gets injured. For me, with Arsenal looking to buy a new striker, this guy's the top paid player at the club. Can your top earner be on the bench? I don't think he can. If Florian Wirtz is bought by Liverpool, then Leverkusen have got 100 million in the bank. Maybe they would take him back, their prodigal son. I would sell him. Let me know in the comments what you think about that Kai Havertz. I would move him on. Ben White, Benny Blanco, still got an important role to play in the squad for me. He needs to fight. He needs to fight. Ever since he's been at Arsenal, he came in, played centre-back, then got moved to right-back. This is the first time in his Arsenal career he's had a real battle on his hands, going up against Timber at right-back. But he's still got an important role to play in the squad, so hopefully he's up for that fight. He'll start the season on the bench, but he'll get a lot of game time. Gabriel Jesus. Remember, this guy had Cecil dancing around the Emirates, you know. Yeah, I'm not sure Jesus will be doing much dancing, man. Injured, ACL injury, terrible injury. And I feel for him because when we signed him, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of hope. Started the season really well. I think him and Zinchenko were part of this sort of rebuild, but I think we've outgrown them. Listen, you're going to struggle to sell him. He's out until December, but when he is back, I think it's time to move him on. But again, who's going to buy him on the back of that injury? But I think it's time to move Jesus on. It's a shame, good player, but I think we've outgrown him. Jakub Kivior. This is a good one because 2 or 3 months ago, I would have put him in sell within 2 seconds. However, when Gabriel Magalhaes got injured, he came in and he stood up and was countered. And I never felt that loss of Gabriel with him playing, which is the biggest compliment that I can play him. I always said the Kiwi wasn't ripe, so we need to sell him. But you know what? I'm going to keep him, put him on the bench. I think he's got a role to play, good squad player, can cover for Gabriel, and I'm going to put him on the bench. Saliba. This isn't whether we're going to keep him, it's whether he's going to keep us. We feel like Real Madrid are lurking in the background, doing their Trent Alexander-Arnold work. Liverpool fans, go easy. We need to get him to sign the new deal. That's what we need. Rolls Royce of a player. One of the best centre-backs I've seen at Arsenal in recent years. Absolute legend of a player. He needs to stay at the club long term, that's for sure. I think Robbie called him Pedro Neto. I wish it was Pedro Neto, to be honest. Unfortunately, it's Norbert Neto. The only goalkeeper I've ever seen at Arsenal try and save a shot while standing outside the area. Fortunately for him, he couldn't reach it. Good job it is on loan. 1 appearance, he goes back to Bournemouth. It's another one of them that you won't remember in a few years that he ever played for Arsenal. So Norbert, back to Bournemouth. Thomas Partey, out of contract, being linked with a move. I think on the back of the season he's just had, you have got to keep him. How much would it cost to replace this guy? When you look at what defensive midfielders are going for, Rice 100 million, Caicedo 100 million. There's not many quality ones out there, and teams like Barcelona are apparently linked with him. I think you've got to keep him. Even though Zubimendi is on his way, I haven't seen enough of Zubimendi to say he's actually better than this guy. So for now, I'm going to start him. The beginning of next season, I'm starting him. Keep that stability of him and Rice. If Zubimendi joins, he can ease his way in and we go from there. Final one, Albert Sambi Lokonga. Vincent Kompany said he was the new Yaya Toure. He's been more like the new Yaya Sonogo, I would say. And you know what? This guy, I mean, how many loans has he had? Luton Town, he went to Palace, went to Sevilla. We've had to extend his contract just to try and get some money for him. If somebody's willing to buy him, you sell him. Hopefully Kompany will come back and buy him if there's the new Yaya Toure. A lot of players there in sell. I mean, maybe the process, maybe the rebuild needs a rebuild, a little freshen up, you know. Some players there to keep, a few on the bench. Squad might be a little bit thin on the back of this, but bring some new players in, we'll be all right for next.